Since the first Minecraft mob vote, it has greatly influenced the game, making us wonder how Minecraft would have been if different choices were made. Today, we will dive into the fascinating history of Minecraft's mob vote and biome votes. We'll be going all the way back to the first Minecraft mob vote to the latest one, so let's get right into it. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, as it really helps me out reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. But first, let's take a quick trip back in time. In 2017, 4 new concept enemies were introduced. The first one, called the Monster of the Ocean Depths. It was a powerful creature that lived in the deep ocean. It would grab players with its long tentacles and pull them underwater. Second choice was known as the Monster of the Night Skies. This enemy could fly and was especially attracted to players who had been staying awake for a very long time. The third choice, called the Great Hunger, had a fascinating ability to camouflage itself and keep its mouth open wide. It would devour other creatures or objects that happened to come near it. Finally, there was the Hovering Inferno. It was a more powerful version of the Blaze that had floating shields and could unleash explosive attacks. During the Minecon Earth Live on November 8th, 2017, the vote took place, and the excitement grew as the results were announced.
And the winner is... Moppy!
Mob B, who would be known later on as the Phantom, won the vote. It caused a lot of different reactions amongst the Minecraft community. Personally, I think we ended up choosing the worst possible choice. The Squid would have been a great addition to the Aquatic update, which was being released at the same time. The Blaze would have brought more content to the Nether Fortress, and the Great Hunter would have disenchanted items, which weren't possible at the time. But the developers seemed to be very happy with the results, as indicated by other voting events that happened the next year. This time, the focus shifted from mobs to biomes. The community will decide which of the 3 proposed biomes will receive an update first. The first choice was to update the desert by adding palm trees, meerkats, and oases. The second option was the savanna, which would introduce a new type of tree, termite mounds, and ostriches. And the last one was the taiga biome, which would bring new berries, campfires, and foxes. Taiga ended up winning the vote and was added to the game the next year in 1.14 version. I would have preferred the desert biome, since it feels quite empty to these days. We can only get temples, and all that the new biome added was berries to normal forests that we already have, and it feels empty nowadays. In 2019, we've got another biome vote. The first option was the Badlands. It would have included tumbleweeds, a new type of cactus, and vultures. The second option will be new mountains, which will introduce snow goats, powered snow, and an improved mountain generation. And the final option was the swamp. Chest boats, frogs, and mangrove trees would have been included with this biome. This time, the vote was very close between the 2 last options, but the mountain won, and it eventually got added in the Caves and Cliffs update. And swamps were nonetheless added in the next update. So, what was the point of even doing this mob vote if both of these biomes would eventually be added? Was it a vote to see which one will be released first? Who knows? But I'm really happy about how this vote ended up. Mountain biomes were quite disappointing before the update, since they were barely even reaching the world's height limit. 2020 saw the return of mob vote, and it was the first time that popular content creators shared their opinions on which mobs they thought that was the best. The first choice was the Moo Bloom, which was a cow covered in flowers and would be friendly with the bees. The second choice was the Iceologer. It was a type of illager that lived on mountain tops and would attack players using an ice attack. Finally, there was the Glow Squid. It would have a unique glowing effect. This vote was really close between the Iceologer and the Glow Squid. This proximity in the vote caused quite the controversy in the Minecraft community. First, I thought the Glow Squid would be a nice addition to the game, but it ended up being really bad. I believe Mojang could have introduced a mechanic with the hypnotic ability showcased in the trailer. It would have been more interesting. Next, there was 2021 mob vote. First, there was the Glare, a mob that could fly to dark places and let players know if it was dark enough for the mobs to spawn. The next one was the LA, which looked really helpful. It was a unique mob that could bring items back to the player. At last, they announced the Copper Golem, a mob that would finally add a utility to the copper. Ultimately, the LA won. In my opinion, it's only useful in very specific situations, such as gathering a type of item when mining, especially with a full inventory. However, it just feels useless in a lot of cases, as it will only pick up items on the ground. Therefore, not very useful in a lot of situations. Then, there was the 2022 mob vote. First, Mojang announced the Rascal, a mob that will be found in the darkness, hiding away from players. You could play a game of hide and seek with him and be rewarded if you find him 3 times. The second mob vote was the Tough Golem. It could hold items. Finally, the third mob vote was the Sniffer, an ancient mob that digs ancient seeds out of the ground. And the Sniffer won, which makes sense since the developers announced an archaeology update just before the vote. So what was the point of voting? So at the end of the day, we shouldn't be the ones deciding, while all we've managed to create is conflicts within the community. If mob votes are here to stay, I think the voting platform should be updated. It would be great if Mojang could include a voting link in the game launcher to participate in the next mob vote. I believe it would be great to bring back a previous mob that lost in his respective vote. But Mojang knows Minecraft better than anyone else, and they know what would be good for the game, so if anyone should decide what would fit in the game, it should be them. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe.